Well, hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of HEMR Railway Live. First of all, we have some slight admin to go through. Now, well, the first thing I want to ask, is the video and the audio okay? I haven't done these for a while. The microphone volume should be fine, but it's whether the background music is fine. I think it's set to what it was last time, but as we know, over a period, things do break. And, rookie mistake, I've just realised that, oh yeah, that's fine at the bottom. In fact, I tell you what, let's do it properly. HEMR Live returns can go. Can you tell this stream was a bit impromptu? Let's move that down a bit. Oh, things are going badly wrong. Make sure you click the right button before you move something. That went a little bit hectic. I've just sorted that, Joe. I think we both noticed it at the same time. So that's sorted. I magically managed to change the scenes about 15 times there, but I think we've got that sorted. Video and audio fine. Okay, that's good. The bit of admin I wanted to say was, because this is a different setup in terms of OBS, you can have different setups based on what you want to do. I think I've mentioned this before. So you can have a setup which covers sort of single camera recording, which is where I set it to for the Shout Out Sunday videos. I've got a different sort of preset of settings for recording off Xbox for Train Sim World, and I've got a different set of scenes for HEMR Railway Live, unlike the other day when I was collabing with Jaden. And because this is the initial setup of the failed stream, I haven't actually managed to convert it back to the sort of higher quality outputs. I realised as soon as I pressed start streaming that it was only running at about 4,000 kilobits per second video, whereas when I was doing it with Jaden I was running at 10,000, and I think the resolution has been scaled, so instead of 1080 I think it's something like 1280 instead, sort of scaled output resolution, but hopefully it shouldn't look too bad. I will change it for next time, but unfortunately when I started streaming, to change it I have to stop and start again, and I'm not doing that. So hopefully it does look okay just for this hour stream today. We're going between 7:30 and 8:30 today. Just want to get this unboxing done. We'll run a few trains, and then, well, I'll pack in for Saturday night because I want to spend some Saturday night to myself, and I have done a lot of long streams recently. Timber Valley is going. He says he can't stay now, I'm afraid, but I'll catch up later. Anyway, thank you very much for joining, even if it was just for the start of the stream, and I suppose you'll hear my soothing voice in the replay. Northern Transport Hub is in. Thank you very much for joining, and yes, indeed, you do spy a parcel. You've said, have you ever been to Merton Park in York? It's where the Derwent Valley Light Railway leaves. No, I haven't, but I think I've been very close to there. The Derwent Valley Light Railway does ring a bell. Second piece of admin before we crack on unboxing what's in this box is that if you're in my Discord server, link I will post in the description and in the comments of this stream once it is finished. I have actually moved some electrics around in the loft, so was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday I spent a couple of hours with my granddad moving some electrical stuff about in the loft. So instead of having the isolator on this joist here, which is quite difficult to get to because to get into the loft you have to open the loft ladder, and then to turn the lights on you'd have to fumble around in the dark and find the switch on this joist and knock it on. And obviously if there's a fire somewhere in the loft and I have to evacuate, hopefully there never will be, but then I'd have to, you know, sort of turn this off and then get out of the loft, where the switch has now been moved to the entrance of the loft, which means that as soon as I stick my head up into the loft, it's click, lights on. It's a lot safer, and I don't give myself as much brain damage from whacking my head on the baseboards. And also, in the event of an emergency, in a drastic situation where I would have to evacuate the loft, I can literally just leave the loft, and on my way out, rather than having to pause and then escape, on the way out, I can just turn it off as I go. So that's the second piece of admin. And now, I shall get off my spinny blue chair that you can just see the back of here, and we'll get, oh no actually, I'll put it down and shove it somewhere out of the way, and we can get unboxing this parcel. So this parcel was given to me by somebody in my family. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but for the sake of going to explain it all and taking up and boring you more of your time, I'll just say it's somebody from my family gave me this parcel, a box of old Model Railway items he had in his loft that he didn't need. So I've got it now, so thank you very much to that person indeed. On the main line has joined. Thank you very much for joining, Jaden. Hello, indeed. Feels strange being back in chat again. It feels weird talking to myself again, I'm not going to lie. I'm used to having, you know, somebody banging on about Aberdeen Commonwealth, that merchant navy, in my ear for 2.5 hours straight. It's very strange not having that, if I'm going to be honest. So, if you have been in my Shout Out Sunday videos, then you will have seen some of the stuff in this box before. You'll have seen the locomotive and a couple of wagons before if you've been particularly eagle-eyed. But if you haven't seen that, then I'm not going to spoil it for you. Let's go through this box and see what we've got. Let me just change a setting on the computer. One moment, please. That's not the setting I want to change. Right, let me just change that. That's brilliant. And now we can crack on. I can talk about 21C. Is that 7? I think it's 7, isn't it? In chat if you wish. I mean, I won't be reading it, but I'm sure everybody else would love that. Plastic bag. Let's get that out of the way. And first of all, it looks like we have some paperwork. I haven't actually had a chance to read through this paperwork. I don't know if you can... Will you be able to read that? Yeah, you should be able to. Which way are we going? That way. So we've got some paperwork on about Hornby Railway. So this is relatively old then. It's before it was rebranded to just Hornby. So what will this be? 1970s, 1980s? It's talking about points and the different sort of layouts you can do. And I presume the different sort of power inputs that you'll need to make it work properly. So that's what about points. I actually have that controller down there, the 900 power control, and I actually have two 902 circuit controls which plug into the side of that, and they run the sawmill siding over there and the control siding over here. So that's talking about points and different power outputs, I think, and these are actually the really old points, and I have seen there are some of these in here. They're not the sort of tie bar that you flick across. There's actually a sort of lever on the side, so I'll put this to one side and you can probably see that a little bit later. On the back, points remote control pack. So that's on about point motors that look like they just click into the side of the points. Jaden's passing contact point switches that I went on a bit of a rant about the other day. They are on here as well. And it's that basically it's just basically about the wiring. But I'll put that to one side and I will come back to that when I find the points. George, mate, your voice is competing with the music. It shouldn't be. What about now? It should just be in the background, so when I don't talk, there's just something there. So hopefully that should be a lot better. If not, I can turn it down a bit more. Joe does not want to hear about 21C7. Fair enough. Also, you have enticed me to get another now. Well, you'll have to remortgage your house, it's that expensive. It says it's better. Okay, if it needs turning down some more, then I can do. But if I just stop talking, it should just be subtly in the background, just to fill the gaps when I'm fumbling about doing stuff. So if I shut up now, it should just be audible in the background. Hopefully that's okay. As I said, I haven't done these for months, so things might need sorting. Now we've got Hornby Railways and Scalextric's service dealer network. I'm surprised at how well these are coming across on camera, to be quite frankly honest with you. It is, don't worry. Okay, that's brilliant. I'll remember it needs to be set to minus 37 decibels in future then. So that's the service dealer network. I'm not going to read all of those out to you. That just looks like a book full of contacts. Is there any in Yorkshire? Yes, there's lots. There's lots more than there currently is. I think there's only one in Yorkshire on Hornby's website. Now there are lots in Yorkshire. Brilliant. That's exactly what we need. That can go over there. More paperwork. Hornby Railways. Welcome to the fascinating world of model railways. I'll agree with that. In the unlikely event that an individual part or component is not operating due to manufacturing fault, then please follow these simple instructions. So that's some sort of warranty page. Don't need to read into that too much. Next we have Hornby Railways 040 engines. Power supply. Designed to work for 12 volts direct current. That is true. Fluff, it is recommended not to operate the model on a carpet. Sam's Trains, I hope you're listening. That was a joke, by the way. I love sand trains. Couplings. The couplings fitted to engines and rolling stock will engage automatically. That is true. Pushing them together above... Separation of vehicles can be done by pushing them close together above a Hornby uncoupling ramp or skewing them as shown in the diagram and pulling apart. Oh, so that means basically it's saying you pull one down. I will get the hang of this anyway. You sort of angle one down, angle one up, and they come apart. That's fair enough. Why does that only apply to 040 engines? What about the rest of them? I'm sure that'd work. 040 is not suitable for operation from the Hornby 01 system. Yeah, you'd never fit a decoder that side in there. Looks like we have, the 1980s equivalent of track planning. If you want to pause and read through that, you can. You should be able to read it, I think. That's old. My granddad had one of these back in the 60s and 70s when he had a model railway layout. There's just a baseboard on the carpet. It's like two 6-volt lantern batteries that you actually connected like a variable resistor, a rheostat across, and controlled the power directly from the two batteries. So that is quite old. Plant M. So we've got the sort of 1970s, 80s equivalent of the track plans, like your Hornby. I think you have Hornby A, B, C, D, E, and F kits that you can build like a full track mat layout with. Sets with a battery controller, with a mains controller, operation. Yeah, it's quite interesting, this. Oh, these are all the old track plans. Quite a lot there, actually. Figure of 8, double loop. That one at the bottom looks like the most interesting to me. It's on about the power input and stuff and how things will run. And we've got really complicated ones at the back. 6 by 4 foot all these are by the looks of it. So you can actually build, looking down there, a decent layout in 6 by 4 foot. Double track circuits, up and over layouts, Plant L. Yeah, it's quite interesting, this, actually. Ever visited Keighley? Not that I can remember, but I think I've been through it. Sam's carpet is legendary. It is indeed. Well, I mean, it's been worn down basically that much. It's basically just a wooden floor at the moment, isn't it? Because it's that worn down and not carpet-like. You might as well just be running it on wood. Frank Hornby order form. Oh, this is the Class 86 yes, it is. This must have been a special edition. British Rail have honoured the founder of Hornby Railways by officially naming the Class 86 electric locomotive number 8644 Frank Hornby in November 1986. Hornby producing a special model of the Frank Hornby 86, only available from Hornby Hobbies. Oh, this is interesting. For you to obtain one of these models, collect the L and S wheels, which can be found on most Hornby Railway packaging, and send 2 L tokens or 10 S tokens, or 1 L and 5 S tokens together with a cheque or postal order for £18, including post and packaging, using the order form. So I think basically what that's saying is you have to buy, it's a very like limited edition type thing. I basically think what it's saying is you have to buy so many pieces of Hornby stuff, then collect the stickers and then send in for it. That's quite interesting, and that's the order form for that. Very nice. Now, I'm going to do a quick Google and see how much you can buy one for on eBay. So, Hornby Class... I really should set the browser screen up for this, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. So, if you'll excuse me one moment. Browser screen. There we go. So, Hornby Class 86 Frank Hornby. I bet they're ridiculous. Hornby. £58? That's not actually that bad, actually. It'll have the Ringfield motor in, so to say that's a limited, it sounds like a very limited edition model. At the moment, most prices, if you ask me, sound quite decent. Do you see a wartime black locomotive there? I don't know, do you? I have just noticed a mistake in that while I was repackaging the stuff up when I ran some of the rolling stock in Shout Out Sunday, I have noticed that my Roberts coal wagon has made its way into the box. That was certainly not part of the haul, and that's going back in the drawer. More paperwork. Level crossing assembly instructions. There is actually parts for this level crossing in here, so I don't plan to have a level crossing on my layout, but it's certainly interesting to see what it looks like. Lifting boom type. Oh yeah, you basically just clip everything together. That's quite nice. And then the opening gate type. There is actually one of these still intact around where I live. Another bit of paper, we're nearly done with this. Train set track extension pack. Shown added to a circle of R605 double curves. There we go. Jaden says they should do something like that again. I doubt I'd be able to get it, but it would be cool to see what they come up with. But, well, basically, they'd just have you spend £500 getting all the required stickers, and then another £500 for the locomotive with the current price in ideals that they have. But that's not for me to worry about. Hornby Railway single arm semaphore signal. There are none of these in here. Jaden's little Hornby contact switches are appearing again. Track plate, conversion to electric remote operation. I did consider semaphores on my layout instead of the LED ones, but again, cost was ridiculous. I think it was £40 for one. Junction signals. I have actually got those there, look. Those in that picture there. If I run across the layout, I do actually have those. This came in another haul that I had ages ago that the D11 came in, but that signal there at the end of my thumb and that one there are exactly the same. Very nice. And it just shows you how they clip in. How would you convert it to electric operation? Oh no, you can't on these ones. Oh yes, you can. I think there's parts missing off this because it was broken when I got it. There's like a rod that goes down the side that like a equivalent, well, the same thing that in those days with the power deployment motors could change this. So that's quite cool. So I've actually got those set of signals. I really don't know why they're still stuck on the layout, to be honest with you. So that's quite cool. And now we get into the beefy stuff. So, do we look at the track and the boring things first and save the locomotive and the rolling stock till last, or would you like to look at the interesting stuff first? I'll leave that up to the decision of the chat. So if you want to see the interesting stuff first, let me know. And if you would like to save the interesting stuff while last, please do also let me know. But while I'm waiting for that, I will pull one point out and you can see what I mean here. Instead of having a tie bar that you flick across there, there's actually a lever that you move here at the end of my thumb. And that moves it across. Now, these look very silvery, very sort of steel-like track. They do look to have modern nickel-silver fish plates on, I can tell. But, this is Hornby track. It's not Lima. It says Hornby there. You won't be able to read this made in Austria. But I want to see if this is steel track. So, if this magnet sticks to it, it's steel. Yes, it's steel track. But with nickel-silver, these parts, the connections that's the part of the point that actually changes, those appear to be nickel-silver because they're not sticking to that bit. But the fish plates, yeah, they're nickel-silver as well, but the actual track itself is steel. Surprisingly though, to say this has been stored in a loft and in a cardboard box, there isn't actually that much rust, so I'm quite surprised at that. What I might actually just do, 1 minute, is move that box out of the way. I'm going to get my multimeter and I'm actually going to see what the resistance of that piece of track is compared to a normal Hornby piece, a regular Hornby nickel-silver. Because I'm actually just interested to see how that has held up over all these years of being stored in the loft. So, Jaden says there is a locomotive. There is indeed. And he says save the good stuff for last, just like you would do when eating a meal. Okay, that's what we shall do. So here's my multimeter. We will set this to ohms. 200 ohms should be good enough. Can you see that display? Yes. If I short these together, we get nothing. Oh, the probes might need pushing in further. Or maybe it's just broken. Oh no, there we go. So if I probe from... I'm not going onto the fish plates. If I go right at the end of this rail, like so, and then right at the end of the other rail, it's changing a little bit just with the pressure that's changing with my hands, but we get roughly 10 ohms. So that's the steel. Now if I marry that up with a piece of nickel silver and measure the exact same length, I think the battery in this meter's low, that's why it's been a bit slow. So if I go the exact same length on nickel silver and let it settle, please. Battery in this meter's going. I really should get a new one in. There, we're getting 0.02, sorry, not 0.02, we're getting 0.3 ohms. Let me try on the silver stuff again, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to connect onto the side of. And remember, this could be doesn't look shiny because it has been slightly corroded and rusted over, although it doesn't look terrible. So I might get the track rubber out later and see if cleaning it does make much of a difference. I can't actually get a good connection onto this because these probes are so tiny. If I hold it with one finger, it should be fine. Just I don't want to hold it with both because then that'll mess it up. Oh, that's actually... Now I've got a good connection also showing 0.02. That's interesting. Try it again. I don't seem to be getting a good connection onto this rail. These probes are tiny. I'm going to give up in a minute before you all tune off. Battery in this meter's dying. I may dig out another battery in the course of the live stream and try and remeasure that because I don't think those measurements are accurate. But anyway, there's the points that go with this diagram. Where are we on camera? There. Anyway, we are saving the good stuff while last, as voted by you. Okay, so I'll try and dig out the scenic items, because there are some in here. Oh, we have a controller. I'd forgotten about that. Right, let's dig out the bits and bobs. So it looks like we've got some sort of half-completed, half-glued level crossing there. We have... I'm trying not to break things. One of the flashing lights for the level crossing. Over here, it looks like we have some plastic things on a sprue. Can't quite tell what those are. We seem to have a... Oh, this is going to be... I will definitely use this on the layout. Whistle board. Very nice. We have some... a 1 in 20 gradient. That's quite severe, isn't it? A gradient marker. I don't think... I keep forgetting where the camera is. I don't think you'll be able to read that, but it says 1 in 20 and on the straight answers level. It's actually kind of quite difficult to get to this. It's all on the track. Have a segment from the middle of track. Looks like there. No clue what that is. Number 1 and a number 2. Another set of lights from the unfinished signal. Here we have telephone wire mast. Loads of more plastic bits in the bottom here. We have some more of these markers. Are these like signal numbers? I'm sure Jaden will be able to tell me. So we've got a 1 and a 3 there. We have nothing and a 3 there. I suspect that's fallen off. Another head for the level crossing. And a 5 there. No clue what they're for. Never seen them before. You've got a base, what looks something like a water tower. Another bit of plastic from the unfinished level crossing. A 2 and a 5 here. Oh, are these speed limits perhaps? A 2 and a 5? Perhaps could be speed limits. That looks like something from the level crossing. This is getting quite difficult to rummage through now. Ah, we're nearly at the end. A signal, semaphore signal, complete with metal ladder. That's is that a distance signal? Because it's not red, it's only got caution and green. That's nice. Oh, so that's how that point motor mechanism works. You have this rod that comes down the side, and then attach the point motor to this here, and then that obviously changes the signal. Ooh, that's quite good actually. Very nice. So we've actually got a full signal there. We have 120 grit sandpaper, of which it looks knackered, so that can go straight in the bin. And I actually got it in. Random bits of broken plastic. Lots of segments out of the middle of the tracks. Joe says pretty sure they are quarter-mile posts. Thank you very much. Buffers, of which I do actually need quite a lot of these, so that's going to be really useful. More telegraph wire posts. I found the other half, I think that goes in there, of that water tap. But I've already got loads of those, but that's fine. Seem to have quite a lot of... Ooh, now we've got two stuck together there. Looks like I snapped them in half. They're supposed to come in half. Perhaps not. Perhaps they are supposed... Anyway, I'm not going to be using them anyway. I thought they were joined together in a sprue, but they're not. I think they're supposed to be like that. The bottom is broken anyway. But more telegraph posts. A 1 in 20 descending gradient. A 4-4, another one of them mile posts. That's indeed what they are. What have we got here? Part of the level crossing. A buffer. A round one, of which I think I know where this is from. So I'm going to put that over there. Right, we're nearly at the end of the boring stuff now. Another part of... Oh, that looks... not quite sure what that is. Another part of the level crossing, one of the boom arms, as the paperwork described it as. Lots of telegraph wires. I do actually need some of them, because I'm going to have a load of houses here, and a load of houses over on the station area, so I will actually be needing them. You won't have to wait much longer, Joe. We are getting close. Ah, that's a loading gauge, so that's to make sure your train isn't too tall or too wide. Very nice. I only know what that is because I saw one on the East Lancs Railway, I think, and I had to Google it. Another one of the... You could actually convert them to be flashing if you wanted to. Of the... Words gone out of my head. Level crossing lights, there we go, eventually. That piece of glass. Oh no, it's some manky sellotape. We'll get rid of that. And I think, dare I rummage and uncover some more? That is... Oh no. No, I have uncovered some more boring things. 2 more boring things. I think that's all of them now. And, as you might expect, 2 more sets of telegraph poles. Joe says, that black thing which you said you might not show what they are, I wonder if that's a base for the level crossing. Yes, it could be. Right, so now we get on to the slightly more interest. Oh god, no, these are going to be haunting this loft for days. Another 1 in 20 gradient marker. Right, so first of all, we'll get the track out of the way. So we know this is all steel track. So we've got what's looked like a single... Oh no, it is because I was using the wrong end of the magnet. So this is all steel track. The fish plates are modern nickel silver. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm hoping there's 8 in there. 7, because if it's the same, if it is the same standard as Hornby stuff, then 8 should make a full circle. We seem to be stuck on 7. We've got half of 1 there, so we can say 7.5, 8. So we've got 8 curves. Where can I put these where they're not going to be in the way? Stick them over here. So we've got 8 curves. If I try and match them up to what's on my layout, I can probably tell you what radius they are. I'm guessing second. No, they're tighter than second radius curve. They are very slightly tighter than second radius. So, 1.9 radius? But they will still make a first circle. So we're on 8 there. And I don't think... Yeah, I think we've run out of curved pieces now. but 2 of those half ones make up a full one, so the last double curve must have gone missing somewhere. And then as for straight track, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is actually quite a lot in here. 6. Well, we keep going. 7. Oh! That is actually a curve. It looks straight, but that is curved. That is actually... That must be a very high radius curve, because that looks barely curved to me at all. It's more apparent on camera because of the lens, but if I try and match this up to what's on my layout, that's greater. This is greater than 4th radius, so I don't know, 4.5 radius. That's quite interesting. That. Oh, hang on, we've got more. So we've got, let's call this 4.5 radius. So we've got 1, 2. There might be another circle's worth in here. Oh no, we won't have enough. 3. I thought this was all straight track, but no, some of it's actually slightly curved. 4. Is that it? That's straight. I think all of this is straight now. 4 would be a nice round number, wouldn't it? Yeah, all that's straight. So we've got 4, let's call 4.5 radius curves. It's definitely not flexi-track. It will not bend, and I don't think they made flexi-track in steel. That's a relatively new technology. So we've got 4, let's call 4.5 radius curves. And if I can remember, why did all the signals just go out then? Oh right, it's because I've knocked the point. That's why. Let's change that before it really irritates me. There we go. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 2 half pieces of what I'm going to call 1.8 radius. That and that will make a full circle. That buffer's still there, so I've not lost that. As for points, we actually have quite a lot. So we've got a Y crossing here. That's quite interesting. So we've got 1 Y crossing, a left-hand point, a right-hand point, and another Y crossing. So 2 Y crossings, a left-hand point and a right-hand point. This is actually getting quite interesting. I might try and match up this track to the diagrams that are over there, because it seems funny how all the diagrams are here in the same box as the track. So it makes me think that this was actually built up as a layout. So when everybody's out of the house tomorrow, what I might actually do, providing I get all my work finished, I might actually set the camera up on the living room floor. It's a big expanse of space. I haven't got the room to do it up here. And I think I might actually try and see if I can build this layout. That would be really interesting, actually. I might think about doing that. So we've got 2 Y crossings, a left-hand point and a right-hand point. Nice. This is getting really quite interesting, actually. And then, excuse me, straight pieces of track. I'll start counting again. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 pieces of... Is it still market? Yeah, this is still R600. So 15 pieces of single R600 straights. Oh! Make that 16 pieces of R600 straights. Actually, 17, because this R620, I bet that's like a re-railing ramp. So make that 17, because that's the same length. I think that's... Oh no! That could be a decoupler, actually. And I found another curve in the bottom of the box. R620. So we've got 17 pieces of straight track. What I'm going to do now is actually have a Google and see what that is because I can't be bothered searching through the paperwork. R620 Hornby. What is it? Oh, it's still under the same name. So it's not very old Hornby because it's railways. And it's still R600 as a straight track, but it is R620 railer / uncoupler. How does that work then? Even travelling over uncoupling ramps, the couplings remain connected. When a train is pushed over an uncoupling ramp so that the two connected couplings are stopped directly over the ramp, the couplings will automatically engage and the locomotive can be driven away, leaving behind the uncoupled part of the train. Well, that's quite interesting. I'm definitely going to have to give that a go. So I presume the speed stops. I presume the speed, even though when it travels over the bump, keeps them locked together. But when you stop, obviously straight over it, you stop, and then I presume, because it's slightly springy, the spring lifts the coupling hooks up. That's quite interesting. Let's make sure everything's fine and dandy now. Yeah, it is. That is very interesting. That I've not come across one of them before. Bits of fish plates, another random bit of plastic. That's a replacement ramp for the uncoupler, look. That's quite neat. In fact, that can go over there. Random coupling. A random set of plastic wheels. That might be out of a wagon. I'm not sure. But now we get on. Oh no, more random bits of plastic. Another arm for the. I can't remember what it's called. Level crossing. Why does level crossing, the word, not seem to want to stick in my head today? Now we get onto the interesting stuff. So a brake van, which is basically exactly the same as the one I've got, apart from these sort of veranda bits here. Brown, not black. So it's nice to have a second brake van. Very nice indeed. So we've got a brake van. We've got a Baxter's Meat Products van from Sarr, Kent. That's nice. I've been really meaning to get some mixed wagons. Yeah, free rolling, modern couple, well, relatively modern D tension locks. Nice wagon that. I've been looking for some assorted wagons for a while. We've got a Texaco or Texarco, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Again, smooth rolling. Doesn't say what it carries, but I'm presuming petrol. Very nice wagon there. Is it missing a ladder? I'm not sure. Texaco wagon, nice and free rolling. Very, very nice. We have a Black and Rioch, if that's how you say it, Rotherham van. Not quite sure what that carries. That's what the missing wheel's from. There we go. Let's see if we can do a repair live without knackering it completely. Try and force this wheel set back into place. Oh yeah, there we go. It's just come out. Missing a coupling, but if I'm not mistaken, did I or did I not just pull out a coupling and say there is a loose coupling? Where has it gone? Have a rummage. If I can't find it, I'll put it on later. But somewhere I've pulled out a coupling and said there's a loose coupling. And wherever that's gone, which I can't find at the moment, has come out of here and it just needs to clip back into the tension lock. The blue thing is a mineral wagon. Thank you very much. I think it's hidden under all of this. Yeah, I could use a magnet actually. Oh, never mind. I've found it. There it is. So that, if I'm not mistaken, should literally just clip back into the wagon. Although actually, it looks to be too long. Does it look to be too long? I can't actually tell, to be honest with you. Oh right, you have to push it in and then clip it in from the side. Yeah, so you push it in so it's through and then clip it in from the side. Oh no, you're right. Push it so that the bar, like that, is on the inside, so you can't pull it out. And then I think it drops through that hole, that little slot, and clips in. Well, that's a repaired one already. And we have a Jif lemon juice van. Quite nice, actually. Do you reckon it carried lemon juice? Or lemons? Nice little van, that. And the biggest item of rolling stock. Oh, right, okay, I found another random bit of plastic. One of the Hornby power adapters, which are terrible and bend and break, as mine did when I first got it, and this one has. We have an express parcels van. That's very nice. It's Lima. High precision model railways using the latest state-of-the-art technology. And if this is the correct box, it's number 305656. Express parcels van. That's brilliant. And it was £6.99 at John Britton Limited, wherever that is. There we go. That's nice, that. Really nice. You see, not all Lima stuff's crap. In fact, most Lima stuff is very good. Put that tray out of the way. And look at this. Metal wheels. Yes, they are the Lima brass wheels. Well, the Lima wheels with the brass coating that wears off very quickly, but it's not picking up power, so that's not a problem. So we've got nice free-rolling metal wheels. Undersides detailed. Yeah, that's lovely, is that? Oh. There is a slight problem, because as I've just noticed, this has met the soldering iron multiple times. I wonder if somebody, the person I got this off, has had this on the side of the workbench, and as they were like, you know, dabbing the solder on into like a tip cleaner or something, it has unfortunately met with the soldering iron. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to run this, because as you can see, that's fairly obvious and it looks terrible. That's not repairable. The glass is damaged. It needs sanding back, painting and fillering. All the details have been gone. So yeah, that is unfortunate actually that that's got destroyed. I am a little bit disappointed about that, but I might see what I can do with it in future. I could turn it into like a project wagon, a project coach, you could say. Yeah, that is slightly disappointing, but otherwise, it's a very nice model. Metal wheels, lovely. Express parcel will look nice with the 31 and 37, correct region, era not region. Thank you. I do need to get some intercity coaches for that 37. Well, I need to get a 47 and some intercity coaches, really. Oh, and we have a ECC wagon in the box, which is apparently £5.99. It is the original box, because you can see it says ECC on there. Very nice. Oh, metal wheels again. Yes, very free rolling, and it has actually got sort of pivoting wheels. I presume this wasn't true in real life. I presume this was fixed in real life, because it is quite a long wheelbase wagon with only two wheels. Well, two sets of wheels, I should say. I presume they've added this sort of springy mechanism to keep it on the track. I don't think that would have happened in real life. I'm not sure. It just seems to be a bit of plastic in there that wiggles backwards and forwards as a sort of spring. Interesting. ECC wagon, reasonably well detailed, feels free rolling. Yeah, that's really nice, is that? Lovely. And the final two items in the box, we have a controller. Ignore the locomotive, we'll get to that. We have a controller with... this is quite an old British plug, is this, look, because, yes, although it's got the earth, the live and the neutral, we haven't actually got the sleeving halfway. If I get my... Where is my extension cord? British plugs should have sleeving. Here's a lesson in electronics for you. If you can see the difference between those two plugs, this one has the sleeving, this one doesn't, and this is basically so that if you insert the plug halfway and it makes a connection to the live and neutral and starts powering the load, the only thing you can actually touch is those non-conductive plastic sleeving. Whereas this one, if you're a child and messing about with electricity, which you shouldn't do, but hey, young and youthful and innocent at that point. If you plug it in and it makes connection with the load, then if you were to poke something or a small child were to get the finger in there, they could actually touch those pins and get a zap. So as long as I'm careful with it, that's fine. I could change the plug if I really want to, but in fact one of the controllers I use now hasn't got the sleeve in, and I'm still alive, I think. So that's fine. I may actually look inside the plug to see if there is an earth wire. Not that it matters because this is made out of plastic, but this is a Hornby R912, so not an R921, which is a little dinky PWM controller in there. This is a Hornby an R912. It's double insulated, which is what that square is, which means it doesn't need an earth. Mains input 220 240 volt AC, only 50 Hz. Output 14.2 volts DC. Should really be 12, but I do believe all Hornby engines are actually rated to 14 volts for some reason. But this is rated for 14.2 volts DC. I'd never run my trains past half speed, to be honest anyway. At 1.1 volt amps. That's very nice. I'm actually going to calculate the volt amps. Not that useful, to be honest. They've not done it in watts, probably because this contains a transformer. But if I do... Is that 1.1 or is that 11 volt amps? Because if that's 1.1, that's terrible. Let me just rub it with my finger to make sure it's not muck. No. That's definitely 1.1 volt amps. So volt amps is basically watts for the purposes of today. So if we do 1.1 volts, volt amps slash watts, divided by 14.2 volts, that gives us that in amps times by 1000 to give it in milliamps. You can't see that, can you? If I do it like that, 77.5 milliamps? That can't be right. I mean, it is only a small controller, I'll give it that, but even my smallest 040s would draw more than that. But it is definitely designed to power trains, because it's got forward, which you turn to the left, which I actually thought, you know, forward makes sense if that's to the right and reverse left. But it's got forward, turn to the left, it's got reverse to the right, and then it's got a marked section there, so you know when that's set to 0. Yeah, that's interesting. That I am surprised. You won't be able to see this, but those two numbers there to me are definitely spaced out and have definitely got a printed point in the middle. So that's quite poor. It might be useful as a controller for running a couple of LEDs. You know, set it to max, leave it, mount it under the baseboard, and it might be useful for running some lights in future. But yeah, that's not going to be all that useful for running trains, and I've already got all my controllers wired up anyway. That is interesting. Comes with the, I presume this black one here is actually going to be the positive, half grey, half black. Does it work? Well, if I blow up, call an ambulance. Mind you, if I've blown up, I'm already dead, so it's too late. So let me go and plug this in, and we'll actually see if it works, making sure these two ends are not shorting, because if it's anything like the old Hornby 01s, if you short the output, then the thing doesn't work anymore. I've plugged it in and it's not blown up. That's a bonus. I could get the multimeter and test it, or I could just turn it up, stick it on the loco and see what happens. If the loco blows up, then it's broken. So if I can hold these two, being very careful not to poke them in case it is dangerous. It shouldn't be, because the loco doesn't blow up. Hold those two there. You can see the... Let's just turn it up to full, who cares? Nothing. This loco does need a service because these wheels are filthy. Okay, maybe not quite full. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the wheels are filthy dirty. Oh, it's screeching a lot. And it is stuttering a little bit. Because the wheels are filthy. But that loco does work. And we'll come on to look at that in more detail. But the controller does work. Let's give it a bit more beans backwards. It's going to be very stiff. It hasn't got any lubrication on this, I can tell. Come on. No, we're in a dead spot. The wheels are filthy. So the controller does work. I will just check the output with the multimeter. That might be why. This might be drawing way over that 77.5 milliamps the controller's rated for. That might be why it's stuttering a bit, but it does need a service, that definitely, because I bet that's not running years. So if I get the multimeter, we can set this to DC volts, of which we need that on the 20 range. I'll try and set this up so you can see it. Yes, you can see it there. And if I turn this up to full forwards, we should get 20 volts DC, so we'll connect positive to what I think is positive and negative to what I think is negative. What are we getting? 15.2. Okay, so when that's actually powering a load, that probably would drop about a volt, I'd guess. So positive is the one with the half black, as I said. And let's just check in reverse. So now if I connect them up in the exact same way, we should now get about negative 15.2. It may not be exact. Nothing. That's helpful. Try again. Nothing? Are we not getting anything in reverse? Let's try forwards again. We're getting 15, so if I turn it down a bit... How is it even regulating the speed then? Because as soon, you know, this knob can be set to full, which it is now. And we're getting 15. But then it can be set to barely on. Still getting 15. I wonder if it's altering the resistance in the circuit. Yeah, it's probably like the R9. I think my 900 power control does the same. I think it alters the resistance in the circuit rather than the voltage. But I don't think the reverse is working. Oh no, it is. I must have not been holding these onto the connections very tightly. So we are getting 15 volts in reverse. Full reverse. Bad connection to the probes again, I think. They are quite dirty, as is quite literally everything in this box. But there, we try that. Yeah, 15.2. So this must be altering the resistance in the circuit to control the speed of the engine then, rather than actually changing the voltage. So the controller does work. It's a very weak controller by my calculations, but it does actually work. So this may, I say may, come in useful for powering things like LEDs, which will run on literally about a milliamp and be perfectly bright enough for a model railway. So that's the controller. Not great, not terrible, but that is a controller nonetheless. Always useful to have a power supply, although that might actually not run LEDs unless you've got a load in series, because if it changes the resistance in the circuit, then yeah, running a normal LED, 3-volt LED on 15 volts is not really going to end that well. So that's that. And finally, although it's not the biggest of locomotives, and by the way, hello to Lee from Anfield Road Layout in the Loft, thank you very much indeed for joining. I did notice, yeah, I was just finishing that little rant. I get the box out of the way. Now we've got everything out. And we have a lovely little Highland Railway Loch Ness number 8 saddle tank 0F Pug 040 type standard Hornby thing. Very nice, very similar to my Queen Elizabeth actually, if I can just pull it out. Except that the body's different, and I think the metal chassis is brown, not black, so yeah. Your typical Hornby 0F Pug type thing. This one's got red wheels as well. Exact same motor, well, I'm going to guess, but I know it's the exact same motor. So yeah, very nice indeed actually. Nice to have another little 040, and that means I can actually double head, because my 040s have got 3 different motors, but now I've got 2 with the same. These should actually double head with that Queen Elizabeth once this is all serviced up. Quite nicely indeed. Let's see if I can gently squeeze at the back of the cab to release the clips. It may need... Oh, the front's lifting up. And the back's lifting up. Yeah, it's the exact same motor, look. I do the same with my Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, look. It's the exact same mechanism. Different colour wire, but that doesn't make a difference. So yeah, the exact same mechanism. It's bone dry in there. Very fluffy, very dirty. The wheels, although they look shiny on camera, to me they are filthy. Capacitor in there, same CAN motor. Yeah, really nice. Another little 040. I will take a locomotive. Didn't necessarily expect one to be in there, but we have indeed got a locomotive. So, I did say that this stream was going to run from about 7:30 till 8:30, and if I had chance I'd run some trains and take some requests from you, but unfortunately I do just want to keep the stream to an hour today, because I have been doing quite a lot of streams. I will just give this, once I clear all the metal objects off the tracks so we don't short them together, I will just give this a quick test run up and down here, so that you can see exactly what we've got in terms of performance from the loco just before I go. And I'll do a little recap of what I've got as well. So if I crouch down and get to the controller, we'll see how this runs. Oh, if I get the microphone close to it, you can hear how it sounds. Very grindy and whistly and squealy is what I'm going to say. I hope you can hear that. The microphone noise cancelling might actually be too good, but let's try that again. Hopefully you can hear that, so I've clipped the microphone back onto myself again. So yeah, very grindy. It has actually just cut out, that's because the wheels are filthy. Very grindy. It seems to wobble quite a lot as well, so I wonder if one of the wheels needs persuading back into line. Yeah, very, very jumpy. But it works, the motor's not completely shot. And I think we can fix that with a bit of grease and a bit of tender loving care. And it's cut out again. So yeah, we have actually got a working locomotive in this hall, which is very nice indeed. Oh, it's taking off at orbital speed. So yeah, so that, I'd say, it's a pretty damn good result from a box of what might seem like junk at first, but I think we've got more than enough here to build one of the track plans that came in that paperwork. So to recap what we've got, making sure my controls are off so I don't short the track, we've got a load of, albeit steel, but if I get my track rubber, it might actually clean up better than Lima's steel. If I get the Pico track rubber, which I did manage to find the other day, if I just give this a quick scrub, let's see if this comes up nice and shiny. Certainly making an impression in the Pico track rubber. Yeah, look at that! Look at how shiny that end bit is, where I've just done, up here, and then the flat bit there. Yeah, look at how shiny that end bit is now, you can see, and then that bit at the end is just dull. So, hopefully, even though it is steel track and is prone to corrosion and rusty, hopefully with just a couple of minutes work from this Pico track rubber, I might actually have enough here to build a full layout, and as I said, I may do a video or a live stream of me trying to figure out how to put this into layout form, because I do think that would be interesting. As I said, it does seem odd that all the paperwork for the different track layouts and all of this track and all of the points are in the same box. So we've got a load of what I'm going to call, I think I called it 1.8 radius because it is slightly tighter curved than second radius. We've got, I think we counted up 17. Oh, the magnet's sticking to everything. Let's get that out of the way. I think we counted up 17 pieces of straight track, which is really nice, including an uncoupler and railing ramp. We've got more track over here. So we've got 2 Y crossings, a left-hand point and a right-hand point. That's really cool. We've got what I call 4.5 radius, so track that is barely curved, but is a little bit not as tight as 4th radius, so it is over 4th radius of those curves. We've only got a few of them. We have the ECC wagon. That's really nice. We've got the Jif lemon juice wagon. As Joe from Transport Hub says, life gives you lemons sometimes. In this case, Jif gives you lemon juice. When Jif gives you lemon juice, make lemonade. There you go. We've got the Black and Arioch Rotherham wagon, which Joe says is a mineral wagon. Again, that's lovely. We've got the Soldering Iron Battle Damaged Express Parcel Service wagon. I might turn this into a project coach. I might see what I can do with this in future, because this one side of the body's okay, but I may have a go at repairing this side, although I don't think it'll be that successful. I've got another BR 20-ton bake van, very similar to the one I've already got. That's nice. We have the Baxter's meat products van, again, nice little wagon. And possibly the most recognisable is, of course, a Texaco tanker. Not bad. Of course, we have all the associated boxes for things, so it is nice that stuff has come boxed. Let's just artfully arrange this about. So we have got stuff that's come in its boxes. And then, of course, we have the controller, the Hornby R912 controller. As I said, due to my estimates, my estimates say it's not a very powerful controller, but it should be good enough. And then, of course, we've got all this stuff here, which is just off camera. We've got all the plastic stuff down there, so stuff such as bits of telegraph wire posts, signals. We've got a replacement uncoupler ramp. We've got bits of stuff for level crossings and all stuff like that. So I think, if you ask me, this model railway haul has been, well, I'd say absolutely successful. Not, of course, forgetting that we have indeed got a locomotive in with it as well. So I don't think we've done too badly here. Too badly here. Thank you very much indeed to my family, the person in my family who has donated me this. As I said, I'm just calling them the person in my family because it's going to take too long to explain otherwise. So thank you to the person who donated this box to me. Really nice, some really nice stuff here actually. And as I say, I may do a live stream at some point, going through the track plans here and all this track, and seeing if we can actually turn this into a layout that is at least something like some of the track plans that are in this paperwork here. I'm almost 100% certain that there is enough here to create the track plans that we looked over earlier in the paperwork, because it would be incredibly odd to have all this track and these track plan paperworks in the same box and there be no correspondence or relation between them whatsoever. So this is going to be quite interesting. Certainly all of this is going to get used at some point. I may even put some trains around the Christmas tree with the amount of track we've got here and see what I can do about that. I'll certainly be using the bits of telegraph poles and assortment of items we've got in that little box of plastic things, and of course the rolling stock and the locomotive will be getting a nice clean, and the locomotive will indeed be getting a service, which I'm probably going to do a video called how to service Hornby 040s, because really they are the simplest thing in the world you can possibly service. So that concludes today's live stream. We have just gone past 8:30, which means I am going to end this live stream here. Thank you all very much, he says, sitting back down in his chair, for joining me on today's live stream, and I do appreciate you spending some of your Saturday nights to come and join the stream with me. Thank you to everyone who's been in the live chat. So that's Northerner Transport Hub, Timber Valley Productions on the main line, and we have also had Lee from Anfield Road Layout in the loft. Thank you very much indeed for joining, and Anfield seems to say that these controllers are actually quite good. I may do some load testing on this controller in future and see whether that terrible 1.1 volt amps is actually true, because that seems awfully low, or maybe it's a misprint. I mean, if it was 11 volt amps and it's a misprint, he says, quickly doing some maths. So let's say 11 volt amps divided by 14.2 volts, that would give an output of, you can't really see it because of my phone screen, that would give an output of approximately 0.8 amps, which would be more, sort of suitable for running trains and what I'd expect from a controller this side. But I'll do some load testing in future and get back to you on that. So thank you very much indeed once again for watching. It has been really nice to go through all of this for you, and thanks to the people in the comments as well who have been telling me what all of this stuff is. You will definitely be seeing more of this again in the future. And well, that's all I have time for tonight. Thank you indeed for spending your Saturday night with me, and I will be back hopefully tomorrow night for a longer live stream. We'll aim for about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes tomorrow, when I do have a little bit more time, and I'll definitely get some of this rolling stock on for tomorrow as well. Right, it is Friday. Do you know why I'm getting confused? It's because I had my piano lesson yesterday. I normally have piano lessons on Friday, but because I had it yesterday, which is Thursday, I think it's Friday. So scratch that. Thank you very much indeed for spending a portion of your Saturday night with me to come along and unbox all this lot with me, because until now I have not really had a proper look. I picked out some of these for Shout Out Sunday, and other than that I have not actually had a proper look at what's been in this box. So, as Joe has correctly corrected me, thank you very much indeed for spending a portion of your Friday night with me, and I will see you on Saturday night to get some of this stuff running and do a longer running session. Thank you very much indeed for watching, everyone, and I do hope to see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening, take care, and goodbye.